Part 110. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 1091. Chapter 1091 Lu Jing's Brain. Huo Linyuan still hasn't done anything. Nian, do you really think that Huo Linyuan really intends to give up on Lanmin and make Lanmin completely an abandoned son? Sunian immediately put away his smile when he heard this. She has actually been waiting. Wait for the orchid to be fished out. Even sent people to pay attention to see if there is anyone similar to Lanmin recently. She sent people to guard the area. If there is really an exchange, then Sunian really doesn't mind and does a live broadcast for the male and female protagonists. But Huo Linyuan really didn't do anything. On the surface, it really seemed like he had given up on Lanmin. But Lanmin is the heroine. No matter how the plot of this novel changes, the heroine cannot be given up by the hero. No matter how you look at it, this is really unjustifiable. It really doesn't make sense. If Huo Linyuan really gives up Lanmin, then what are you going to do and how to make Lanmin disappear? Sun Ying'er asked this question. This question really made Sunian not sure what to say. She thought about the way she handled Mo Bao in her previous life. Imprison the heroine and the hero in the same place and monitor them 24 hours a day to prevent the hero and heroine from escaping. Mo Bao acted like this because he was afraid that if the male and female protagonist died, what would happen if the world of this novel collapsed? So Sunian also planned to do the same. But Sunian will not say it now. If you say it like this, then Sun Ying'er might think that she is a pervert. Ahem, this method really feels a bit perverted. So Sunian said, I haven't thought about it yet, but I think Huo Linyuan can't just give up. Huo Linyuan will definitely think of other ways. Sunian felt that he must seize this opportunity. If he really seizes it, if I get the chance this time, I can really. Nian, if he really does nothing, if he really gives up on Lanmin, after all, in the eyes of a man like Huo Linyuan, no matter how important Lanmin is, then Lanmin is just a woman, not maybe it's too important. When Sun Ying'er said this, there was some mockery in her eyes. The reason why she behaves like this is because she clearly knows the attitude of those men. Thinking of this, Sun Ying'er's eyes looked at Sunian even more tenderly. If it weren't for Sunian, then he would really be just of the family and nothing. Sunian was silent for a moment when she heard this, but she still said with firm eyes, it's impossible, it can't be like this. If this Huo Linyuan really does this, then it proves that this Huo Linyuan is not a human being. Really no one. Okay, let's do what you want. Remember what you said, and then that's what it is. Lu Jing, who was standing next to him, felt something was wrong when he saw the two of them like this. The way Sun Ying'er looked at Sunian. Could it be that? When this idea appeared in Lu Jing's mind, he gave himself a slap in the face. Why do you have such an idea? Now Lu Jing really feels that there is something wrong with his brain, quite a problem. Sunian and Sun Ying'er were attracted by such movement. They felt really helpless when they saw Lu Jing like this. This guy. Now I finally know why Lanmin doesn't like this guy. If it were me, I wouldn't either. Sun Ying'er looked at Lu Jing, but as she said this, the smile on her lips became more and more. I remember you said something similar, sister. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 1092. Chapter 1092, Being eloquent does not necessarily stir up troubles. Sunian and Sun Ying'er were joking. But Sunian's worries are still there. What is this Huo Linyuan doing? Sunian felt that he needed to ask Josu to check Huo Linyuan's recent movements. At this time, Sunian thought of someone. Lena. When Lin Na appeared in her mind, Sunian immediately had an idea. When Sun Ying'er saw Sunian's expression, she asked, Nian, have you thought of any solution? Sunian nodded, I thought about it, and I plan to go find Lin Na. Lena, is this woman useful? Sunian thought about Lin Na's recent operations. Actually, she kind of likes this Lin Na. In fact, this Lin Na just wants to bring her family to the stage through her own efforts. But she likes her, but she doesn't like to be treated as a random chess piece. But this Lin Na can really be put to good use. Sunian then told Sun Ying what he thought. Then he got up and walked outside. But when she walked out of the door, she stopped, looked at her good nephew, and then said with a smile, Lu Jing, you have been doing well these days, try your best, it is best not to make a sound at all. Lu Jing, isn't this gloating a bit too obvious? Don't be so obvious. It's so obvious that you really don't want to consider him. When Lin Na saw Sunian, she was a little surprised. She has been thinking about how to get in touch with Sunian during this period. After all, this Sunian is not a simple woman. If she appears in front of Sunian too directly, then this Sunian will definitely not trust her. Now Lin Na even feels a little regretful. If she had known that Huo Linyuan was like this, then she would have he won't go near this Huo Linyuan. And Sun Ying didn't know how much better she had been since she hooked up with Sunian. Even now, his status is really much higher. But before Lin Na could say anything, she was directly pressed to the table. That's right, he was forced to be pressed down on the table. Such strength really made Lin Na a little unable to react. Mrs. Li, what do you mean? I have offended you in some way. If I really offended you in any way, then tell me directly and I will definitely apologize to you, an absolute apology. Sunian started to think about it after Sun Ying left. What kind of attitude should I use to appear in front of Lin Na? She thought about it again and decided to use tough measures. After all, this Lin Na is actually hiding in the dark. Sunian doesn't care whether this Lin Na doesn't dare, she still wants to get benefits in the dark. In this situation with the mouse, Sunian felt that it was better to lift the person to the table. Anyway, Sunian felt that with his current status and current situation, he really didn't need to be so petty. There is no need to hide like this. Mrs. Li, why don't you speak? If you don't speak, how do I know what I did wrong? Mrs. Li, I know you are a big shot, and people like me are just a little person in front of you, but you still have to be a little bit, let's talk some sense. After all, this is a public scene. In such a public scene, is it a bit inappropriate for you to do this? Sunian sat down and said, Ms. Lin, your eloquence is really good. No wonder you are able to stir up the storm. Lin Na was originally a little curious about Sunian's behavior, but after hearing this, she became excited. Sunian, what does this mean? End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 1093. Chapter 1093. It's not unfair for Lan Zhen to lose to you. Lin Na knew that the effect would be better if she didn't walk in front of everyone. It will be safer. But when Lin Na acted in this way, she really felt like a mouse in the gutter. It really makes people feel bad. Lin Na, you have done so much just to gain Huo Linyuan's trust? I don't have any so-called advantages. My advantage is that I have a good heart and like to fulfill other people's wishes, so I help you. Lin Na easily heard the meaning behind these words. She is looking at her own tolerance. Mrs. Li, what do you mean? The smile on Sunian's face became a little brighter. Why can I see you when I come out? Why are you always there when Lan Zhen does all the things he does? Lin Na, do you really think I am a fool? What kind of fool do you really think I am, don't you know? Although Lin Na understood that Sunian was trying to test herself. But the smile on Sunian's face still made her feel cold all over. What is this Sunian talking about? The next moment, Lin Na's hand was placed on the table. As far as I know, Miss Lin, you spent a lot of money to maintain this hand. You even studied piano for many years. What would happen if this hand was gone? Lin Na and Sunian's eyes met. Mrs. Lee, I don't know when I made you angry, but you really want to punish me in this way. If you can be happy, then you can do whatever you want. I don't care. Sunian's eyes became firm. It doesn't matter, ha ha ha, that's what you said, it doesn't matter. Since you said that, I won't be polite. After saying this, Sunian raised his hand and gestured. Immediately, a man in black came over with a sledgehammer. That's right, it's a sledgehammer, a big hammer. Such a hammer shocked everyone around. There was even a stir around it. Ms. Lin, you don't need to thank me, I am also doing good deeds to do good deeds. Lena still kept smiling. He still said the words begging for mercy. But Sunian saw Lin Na's sweat. Hey, Lin Na is indeed very powerful, and she is indeed not an ordinary person. But if Sunian's guess is correct, Lin Na may have been the kind of young lady who has been pampered since she was a child. Although she is a bit smart, she has never suffered. Even some things are still at the stage of talks on paper. How could Lin Na like this be compared to herself, a woman who had been the head of a family all her life in her previous life? He. Even Sunian can say that old age is still hotter. That's it, when the sledgehammer comes down. Lena still flinched. Lin Na closed her eyes subconsciously, and then tried hard to withdraw her hand. I didn't expect that I would pull it back as soon as I took it. Even made Lin Na fall to the ground, making her lose her shit. This kind of behavior makes people around you laugh. No matter how good-tempered Lin Na was, she couldn't help but frown when she saw this situation. Ms. Lin, what's going on with you? Why did you fall to the ground while you were talking? You should be a little more careful. What will happen if you really fall out? Lin Na looked at Sunian sitting in front of her. This Sunian is really powerful. Sunian can even say that he has the upper hand in the entire relationship in just a few words. No matter how powerful Lin Na is and how powerful her mental quality is, she is still a little afraid of breaking through in such a situation. She stood up. I have always thought that you are not very simple, but I did not expect that you are so difficult. It is really unfair for Lanmin to lose to you. With me I have something to do at home, and I am in a hurry. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 1094. Chapter 1094. Sunian is really a little unhappy. Lin Na, I really thought you were a smart person before, but now it seems that you really think too much. In this situation, you are still humiliating me. Sunian's eyes became sharp. Then people continued to come around. Hey, 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 when did I insult you, Mrs. Lee, please stop talking nonsense. When did I talk nonsense? What do I mean? I finally understand. It's really not unfair for Lanmin to lose to me. Who is Lanmin and who am I? If you compare Lanmin to me, isn't this really an insult? That's right, Sunian's main character is a bully. Lena. Ahem, cough, cough, that seems to be the case. Lin Na subconsciously wanted to say something. At this moment, Huo Linyuan's voice sounded, it's really lively here. Sunian was not surprised at all that Huo Linyuan appeared in front of him. Even felt a little bit resentful in my heart. Why didn't this guy show up earlier? If this guy showed up earlier, then he could go back to accompany Mo Bao earlier. What's going on? Huo Linyuan asked. Lin Na smiled as soon as Huo Linyuan appeared. This man really doesn't trust himself very much. After all, she is not a brainless person. She naturally knows that there are so-called things in this world, but there is no so-called coincidence. The only explanation for Huo Linyuan's appearance here is that Huo Linyuan is nearby, and even Huo Linyuan is sending people to monitor him. Sunian smiled extremely arrogantly. What else could be the reason? Of course it's because Mr. Huo, you didn't take good care of your dog. Mr. Huo, do you know? In this era, taking good care of your dog is the most basic thing, but Mr. Huo, you can't even do this most basic thing. It's really a bit embarrassing for you to change out. Although Lin Na knew very well that whatever Sunian said now was normal. But I still felt a little uncomfortable when I heard this. This Sunian is really good at speaking. Since you said so, Sunian, don't you know that there is a saying that when you beat a dog, you still have to look at the owner? You beat the dog randomly like this and don't like to look at the owner. Is that really okay? Sunian slowly walked up to Huo Linyuan. Mr. Huo, you are right to say this, but Mr. Huo, do you want me to help you recall how long your dog didn't listen to me? How long has your dog been messing around? Mr. Huo, if I remember correctly, you are only in your early 30s this year. Your memory is so bad, why don't you go back and see a doctor? After all, your state is really a bit bad. After saying these words, Sunian subconsciously breathed a sigh of relief. It's really a bit suffocating to say these words in one breath. I almost made a fool of myself. Fortunately, Lin Na was still a little uncomfortable at first, but when she heard Sunian say this to Huo Linyuan, she immediately felt comfortable. This Sunian's eloquence is really good. Now Lin Na finally understood how far she was from Sunian. I still have a lot to learn. But even though Sunian said so much, the expression on Huo Linyuan's face did not change at all. There is really no change. This made Sunian a little confused. What's wrong with this male protagonist? She felt like a clown, which really made Sunian feel a little unhappy. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Which John Word. Chapter 1095. Chapter 1095. The heroine Lanmin is really blind. Just when Sunian wanted to continue speaking, Huo Linyuan finally spoke. Sunian, I understand why you came to Lin Na today. Let's take a step back from each other. Sunian raised his eyebrows slightly when he heard this. How to push? I will give you what you want, but don't touch my people. Also give me the official seal, and I will give up suppressing your company. This made Sunian even more curious. What does Huo Linyuan mean? Give yourself what you want. What does it mean to give yourself what you want? What does this mean? Sunian originally wanted to ask directly, but felt that just asking like this would seem a bit cheap. But, don't ask. Just when Sunian was confused, Huo Linyuan actually turned around and walked away. That's right, he turned around and left. Sunian was really dumbfounded by this situation. What does this mean? Why did you turn around and leave like that? Even Sunian wanted to chase him. Ahem, cough, cough, I almost chased him. It can really be said that it was almost. Fortunately, Sunian controlled his thoughts. If he couldn't control his thoughts, it would be a bit embarrassing. In the coming time, Lanmin is officially responsible for the official seal. Then sentenced. Then. Sunian thought it was just a formality like last time. But I didn't expect that Lanmin was actually in prison. Even if Lan Zhen has a child in her belly. You must know that no matter what country she is in, this pregnant woman will not be sentenced, even a murderer. When 2 months have passed, people sent by Sunian told her that it was indeed Lanmin who was in jail, not the so-called substitute. She was really a little dumb. It should be that everyone is dumb. This Huo Linyuan's heart is too hard, Sun Ying'er couldn't help but sigh. However, after what Sun Ying'er said, she felt that it was somewhat reasonable. After all, in her memory, Huo Linyuan had always been the kind of person who would do anything to achieve his own goals. So it is normal for Huo Linyuan to do this. The reason why she was so surprised was because she thought this Lanzi would be someone special. Moreover, Sun Ying'er looked at Sunian. She suddenly remembered that she seemed to be surrounded by such things in the world she lived in before. Everyone does it because of the so-called interests. It's never because of any so-called feelings. Even feelings were a joke in her previous world, but it was different ever since she came into contact with Sunian. Now I see Sunian who is full of doubts and is in a lot of unresolved situations. I really want to laugh a little bit. Don't think about it, your forehead is like a bun. Li Baikan came to Sunian's side. It's unscientific in the world of novels, there is no male protagonist like this. Even if the male protagonist is a scumbag, then the male protagonist is still a man. Since he is a man, how can he let his woman bear everything? The male protagonist Huo Linyuan, well, even though it is no longer the original plot, I still can't bear it. Li Baikan's eyes were filled with tenderness as he listened to Sunian's doubts. He put his hand on the little woman's head, planning to gently touch her head to comfort her. But unexpectedly, before Li Baikan touched Sunian, she would raise her head and look straight at Li Baikan. Li Baikan felt a little frightened when Sunian looked at him like this. It was at this time. It seems that Li Baikan is much better than Huo Linyuan, and the heroine Lan Min is really blind. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 1096. Chapter 1096. Lu Jing wants to show off. Li Baikan originally wanted to touch Sunian gently. When he heard this, he smiled helplessly and gave her a head scratcher. Sunian frowned after suffering this brain breakdown and looked at him with an unhappy look on his face. What do you mean? You hit people just like you said. What do you want to do? Think carefully about why I did this to you. Li Baikan. Sun Ying'er couldn't stand it any longer. Okay, you young couple should stop flirting here. It's like this every time. You really don't consider me at all. You consider me as a single person. Just when Sun Ying'er finished speaking, Lu Jing, who had been talking next to her, came up to her and said, "And Sun, if you really think it's not possible, then I can give myself some mercy." These words made Sun Ying'er, who was originally joking, almost choke to death on her saliva. What does this mean? What does Lu Jing mean? Sun Ying'er looked at Lu Jing and glared at Lu Jing fiercely. But Lu Jing is very shameless at this time, and Sun, what I said is true. I can really give everything for you. As your nephew, if I lie to you at this time, then I will be a fool. Absolutely fool. Sun Ying'er, why does this guy just not open or pick up the pot he likes? Now Sun Ying'er really wants to kill this guy. However, Lu Jing was not stupid, so he spoke just when Sun Ying'er was about to get angry. Okay, two ants, I know what questions you have in your hearts. If that's the case, then I'll help you. These words successfully attracted Sunian and Sun Ying'er. They looked at him. At this moment, Lu Jing snorted arrogantly, "Don't think that I don't know. In your eyes, I am actually very insignificant. You even think that I am a waste. This time I will prove to you that I, Lu Jing, not only is it not waste, but it is also very useful." Lu Jing came to the prison. I saw Lan Ji. When he saw Lan Min, Lu Jing still felt a little uncomfortable. After all, she is the woman he has loved for so many years. But only a little. Lu Jing understood that he had to be firm. If it swings unsteadily, the final result will definitely not be good. When Lan Zhen saw Lu Jing, his eyes suddenly lit up. Lu Jing, I knew you wouldn't give up on me, Lu Jing. When Lan Min said this, tears came out. I don't know why, but Lu Jing, who was a little touched in his heart at first, didn't feel the same at all when he saw Lan Min like this. The mood I had just felt suddenly disappeared. Lu Jing, I beg you, I really beg you, I really don't want to stay here, can you take me away? As long as you take me away, then I can do anything, I really don't have anything to do, I can do whatever you want me to do. Now Lan Min is completely like a crazy woman. There is no elegance at all. I remember in the past, when you encountered something, you would come to me as soon as possible. Every time I was like a dog you fed. As long as you want me to do something, then I must do it. When Lu Jing said this, he couldn't help but laugh. But Lan Min quickly said, no, that's not what I think. I really don't think that way. Don't think nonsense. You must not think nonsense. My thoughts about you are true. I really consider you my friend. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Zhang Word. Chapter 1097. Chapter 1097. Okay, I believe you for the last time. I am sincere to you, absolutely sincere. If I lie to you, I will never lie to you. Lu Jing just looked at it. Time passes minute by minute. As things have gone by, Lan Min's condition has really gotten worse and worse. Lu Jing, what should I do so that you will believe me? Only then will you believe me. I really regard you as my friend. I am really sincere to you. I know you like me and want me to do this. Your woman, if you really want me to be like this, then I. Lu Jing's original expression became more and more ugly when he heard this. After all, she is the woman I once liked. What Lan Zhi did was undoubtedly not to kill the beauty in his heart. That's enough. Stop talking. Now beg me. Why don't you beg Huo Linyuan? You once told me that Huo Linyuan is the best person for you in the world and the best man in your life. My only man, when you find yourself in this situation, does your only man really do nothing? But it's better that Lu Jing didn't say this. When Lu Jing finished saying this, Lan Min's mood really collapsed. I thought about it too, but Lin Yuan won't go out. Lin Yuan said that I was just going through the motions, but I didn't expect that he wouldn't show up. Why don't the men who keep saying they love me show up? Why? Lan Min's spirit is really getting more and more broken. It's impossible that Huo Linyuan will not give up on you, ha ha ha. If Huo Linyuan will really give up on you like that, give up on you so easily, then tell me what the meaning of my efforts over the years is. What do Li Baikan and I mean by our efforts? Are we really just a joke, a big joke, ha ha ha? Do you really think it's interesting? Lan Jing now reached out to Lu Jing through the fence. Lu Jing, I really know that I was wrong. I know that you are the best person in my life. I know that I was wrong. I won't. Lu Jing was silent for a moment. Lan Min seemed to see hope when he saw Lu Jing's silence. So Lan Min quickly said, Lu Jing, as long as you rescue me, then I will do whatever you want me to do. I will never mess around, and I will definitely be obedient. I will do what you want me to do. I beg you, I really can't be here. I really don't want my child to have a mother in jail, and I don't want to be separated from my child. I really don't want to. Please, really please, as long as you can save me, I can do anything. Really? When Lan Jing heard that Lu Jing was a little relieved, he seemed to see hope. Really, Lu Jing, I swear it is absolutely true. If it is true, then you must not let me good to die. Lu Jing looked at Lan Min for a long time. At this moment, Lu Jing seemed to be making a so-called decision. I don't know how long it took for Lu Jing to speak. Lan Ren, is what you said true? Can I really believe you? Lan Min nodded crazily. Lu Jing then smiled. Okay, Lan Min, I can trust you one last time, but I hope you won't disappoint me. I really don't want to be disappointed anymore. This time is definitely the last time. Well, I won't let you down this time. Lu Jing said some words of comfort before leaving. He looked distressed throughout the whole process. When Lu Jing returned to his car and returned to the confined space where he was alone, he smiled directly. It seems that it is right to hang out with the two ants. Yes, his acting skills are much better now. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 1098. Chapter 1098. Mr. Lu, I didn't expect you to be so serious. Although Lu Jing has no brains. But we also know that swinging from side to side is wrong. Lan Min was indeed someone I loved before, but it was once, and he, Lu Jing, was a man. If a man is too careless about his feelings, then he is not a man at all. When Lu Jing walked out, he met Lin Na unexpectedly. The moment he saw Lin Na, Lu Jing took a few steps quickly. Master Lu, I didn't expect you to be so serious. Lu Jing stopped when he heard this. Hey, I really envy Lan Min now. Why do the men around her like her so much and treat her so well? Lan Min has no background and no strength. In a certain situation, this is also her ability. Lu Jing looked at Lin Na with burning eyes. Master Lu, why are you looking at me like this? It really makes me feel like I'm a bad person. It even makes me have the illusion that I've done something bad to you. The smile on Lin Na's face was as bright as it could be. I even feel a little sorry for what I did. Mr. Lu, I beg you, please don't look at me like this. Lin Na said this and walked directly in front of Lu Jing. But unexpectedly, Lu Jing slapped Lin Na directly. This slap really stunned Lin Na. After all, she really didn't expect Lu Jing to do this directly. Master Lu, do you really think I am someone like my aunt? Everyone knows that I, Lu Jing, have no brains. People without brains can do anything. After all, who wouldn't laugh at a person without brains? After Lu Jing said this, he gave it to Lin Na directly. At this moment, Lu Jing was not as cheerful as usual. Even his eyes were stern. And you are nothing, and you can come and watch my jokes. Lin Na, don't you know what the Lin family is? Do you want me to let you know how your Lin family is? Lin Na was pulled up by Lu Jing. Lin Na, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry, Mr. Lu, I'm really sorry, I shouldn't have appeared at this time. Since you can't appear at this time, I hope you can disappear as soon as possible. If you don't disappear, I can't guarantee whether I will let you disappear with the Lin family behind you. After saying this, Lu Jing turned around and left. At this time, Huo Linyuan appeared. Huo Linyuan fell into deep thought when he saw Lu Jing like this. Lin Na said in an aggrieved voice, Master Huo, I really think you may have made the wrong decision. This Lu Jing cannot save Miss Lan. I think we should think of other ways. Who said I wanted Lu Jing to rescue people? These words made Lin Na's expression change immediately. Her face was full of confusion. If you didn't have this idea, why would you come here? Huo Linyuan, then why are you here? The two people just looked at each other. Lin Na's mood immediately panicked. I'm worried that something will happen to Miss Lan. Miss Lan and I have a really good relationship. I really don't want anything to happen to Miss Lan, and Miss Lan is still as a twin. If something really happens to Miss Lan, then is she your woman? After Huo Linyuan said this, he turned around and left. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 1099. Chapter 1099, No Mercy at All. Lin Na's expression suddenly disappeared when Huo Linyuan turned to leave. This Huo Linyuan is really awesome. She felt that she had underestimated Huo Linyuan. It's really hard to see through. But also, if Huo Linyuan can be easily seen through by himself, then how could Huo Linyuan stay in this position for so long? It is absolutely impossible. Lin Na regretted it a little. I regretted lip-syncing with Lu Jing just now and letting Lu Jing hit me. This Lu Jing really doesn't know the importance of what to do. I don't know at all. I pity the fragrance and cherish the jade. But Lin Na was really curious about what Lu Jing would do. Will you rescue Lan Min? This play is really a bit curious. Lu Jing was also helpless. How did he feel about everything? He felt that there was still a misunderstanding in his heart. He really changed it again. Lu Jing felt that Sun Ying might feel the same way in her heart. Hey, this is the end of the road, but it's really not like that. At this moment, Lu Jing thought of someone. Li Baikan. After all, Li Baikan had been entangled with Lan Min for so many years. Now that Sun Yan can be trusted in him, he must have his own abilities. That's right, he must go to Li Baikan. Hurry up and leave as soon as you think of this. Li Baikan was a little surprised when he saw Lu Jing. After all, Lu Jing rarely appeared in front of him since his relationship with Sun Yan and Sun Ying improved. And didn't Lu Jing go to find Lan Ren? Why did you come here? Did something happen? When Li Baikan had not had time to speak, Lu Jing said, Baikan, our relationship for so many years, is it that I encounter any difficulties and trouble? Do you want to help me? Li Baikan listened to listening when he said this. He frowned. What's wrong? Something happened to Huo Linyuan again. What did you find? Tell me now. Lu Jing shook his head. No, don't worry, nothing happened. It's something else, a private matter, a very small matter. Li Baikan's complexion suddenly turned bad. What time of day it is now? Lu Jing is still like this. Li Baikan didn't want to talk to this guy. But then I thought about it. If there really was something going on, how could Lu Jing have discovered it with his ability? Just when Li Baikan planned to continue doing his own thing and ignore Lu Jing. But Lu Jing's next words made Li Baikan's expression change. Because Lu Jing said, by the way, Baikan, how can you convince my aunt that you really don't like Lan Min anymore and are really sincere to her? Li Baikan clenched his fists. What on earth did you do? Now I feel like the whole world thinks that the person I like is Lan Min. I obviously don't like Lan Min. Why do I still like Lan Min when he treats me like that? Why do I still like Lan Min like that to me, people? How to do it? When Li Baikan heard this, he really wanted to laugh. If he knows a way, then that's fine. When he was getting along with Sun Yan, you can always feel Sun Yan's alienation from him. He understands it very well. After all, there is a lifetime between them. That lifetime of suffering. It is impossible for him to make up for it no matter what he does. What can we do? I have no idea. Lu Jing frowned when he heard this and walked up to him with an unhappy look on his face. What do you mean you don't know? If there is anything you don't know, just tell me. Li Baikan smiled miserably when he said this. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 1100. Chapter 1100. Dad, what do you think of me? Is this important to you? These words really shocked Lu Jing. He really didn't know what to say for a moment. How to say? What is going on? I just want my two aunts to have a better impression of me. Ahem, the way they look at me really makes me look like a bit of an idiot. You know, I am a person, I also have a lot of self-esteem. Yes, after all, I am also a man, and I also have self-respect as a man. Right, that is it. Lee Baikin smiled lightly when he heard this. I really don't know what to do. It really depends on luck. If you are lucky, then if you don't do anything, you may get her sincerity. If you are unlucky, then you may get her sincerity. If you don't do anything, then no matter what you do, it won't work. But at this point, Lee Baikin smiled, but if you do nothing, you will always be misunderstood. Lu Jing. Why does Lu Jing think that this guy thinks there is something wrong with his brain and is just deceiving him? What is luck? Lu Jing finally understood that Lee Baikin's heart was really too hard. At least I have known him for so many years. Don't even do this small favor to yourself. Even this task can really be said to be a piece of cake. Lu Jing returned home feeling tired. Throw yourself onto the sofa and sigh deeply. At this time, Father Lu's voice sounded, "You sigh as soon as you come back. What kind of attitude is this? If you really don't want to stay at home, then you can just get out." Lu Jing was already in a bad mood, but now that he heard his old man say this, he felt so good. Stand up immediately. And he looked at Mr. Lu menacingly. The two men just looked at each other. Lu Jing now seems like a man full of fighting spirit. You brat, why are you looking at me like this? Are you really capable now? If you are capable, then tell me. After Mr. Lu said this, Lu Jing became direct. Mr. Lu is Lu Jing's father after all. How could he not know what his son's temperament is like? When he saw Lu Jing like this, he said, "What happened to you again? If anything happens to you, just say it directly. Don't be like this. You are grinding and chirping like this. What do you really look like? You are totally like a little girl. Look, if this spreads out, we will lose face. Dad, don't be like this. I am your son after all. It really makes me sad that you are like this. If you really want to be sad, then go find someone else and feel sad in front of others. I really don't want to see you like this, so get out of here." This time Lu Jing felt even more aggrieved. What does this mean? Why should this be so? But even so, Lu Jing had no intention of leaving. Although Mr. Lu acted very seriously, he was still a little curious in his heart. His son was famous for being heartless, and he hadn't seen him like this for a long time. You must know that he has not used the brain he gave him for a long time. Finally, Lu Jing sighed deeply. And said, "Dad, what do you think of me as a person?" These words really stopped Mr. Lu. But the next moment, Mr. Lu didn't know what to say. The reason for this was that Lu Jing asked, "Do you think I have a chance to fall in the eyes of a woman like Aunt Sun, a woman like Sun Ying-er?" End of this chapter.